What is going on, y'all? It is the Caveman back at it again with another video. This is finally the last record prediction video. Today I'm doing the AFC East. I feel like I've been doing these forever, but now I'm on the final one. Remember, when you're looking at the record predictions for each team, just kind of only acknowledge the record prediction schedule, and the wins and losses in the individual games are more so just a template to get to the record prediction I got. I don't want to waste any time. Let's get right into it. Starting at the 4th place spot in the AFC East, I am predicting New York Jets to finish 5-12. I've been seeing a lot of mixed emotions about the Jets. Some people think they're going to flat out suck. Some people think they could be a sneaky playoff contender. Some people think that if there's going to be a Bengals rerun in 2022, it's the New York Jets. Based on my record prediction, you're probably assuming I'm going to put them in the they will suck category. And although that isn't entirely wrong, I think they're headed in the right direction. A lot of young pieces. Robert Saleh's got the train on the tracks. They've been drafting very well. There's a lot I like about New York. They have an offensive line that actually might be semi-decent if Dwayne Brown isn't completely washed. I like Elijah Vera Tucker. Skill position group on the offensive side of the ball is actually rather stellar. They got Michael Carter, Breece Hall in the backfield. They got Elijah Moore, Corey Davis, and Garrett Wilson as the receivers. CJ Uzomah, who they brought in from Cincinnati. The front seven I've come to like a lot as well. Carl Lawson, Solomon Thomas, Quinnen Williams on the line. They also got Quan Alexander, CJ Mosley on the second level. Obviously, they added Sauce Gardner in the secondary as well. There's just a whole lot to like about the New York Jets right now. Like I said, Robert Saleh's got their head on straight. I would say in 4 to 5 years when we'll really see the best of them. It's just all going to fall on the shoulders of Zach Wilson. Does he take the next necessary steps in his development for the Jets to be semi-decent this season, or does he fall completely flat on his face and they're back to square one? If he's able to take those steps forward, I would say my 3 to 4 year projection of them being really competitive is going to be accurate. It just really comes down to what Zach Wilson brings to the table this year. But that being said, this year they'll suck just because the conference is tough, and they'll go 5-12, 4th in the AFC East. Coming in 3rd of the division, I have the New England Patriots at 6-11. I know this might come to a shock to some people, but I'm just not expecting the same old Patriots, Billy B, to pull something out of his ass for them to be semi-500. I just don't think it's going to happen this year. I feel like it's kind of forgotten that Bill Belichick, although he is the greatest coach of all time, is still going to need the pieces to execute what he needs to execute, and he just doesn't have those pieces this time around. I don't want to say this team is talentless, but they certainly don't have a ton of it. Their wide receiving core is just brutal, with Kendrick Bourne, Devontae Parker leading the way. Damian Harris or Ramondre Stevenson in the backfield, which I really don't hate. Their offensive line downgraded this year. They traded Shaq Mason for like a 5th round pick to the Bucs. Mac Jones doesn't move me very much. I think he needs to be in a very niche situation, which he has ironically found himself in to be successful, but he still doesn't have much help around him. It's the defense that usually keeps the Patriots afloat, especially when the offense is lacking, and I just don't think that's going to happen this time around. They lost J.C. Jackson without franchise tagging him. They really don't have much in the secondary. Like Kyle Duggar, I would say Devin McCourty's probably washed at this point. Definitely not what he used to be. I like Matthew Judon. I like Christian Barmore and Lawrence Guy. I mean, they have some pieces sprinkled in here and there, but when I tell you they are one of the least talented teams in the NFL, I genuinely mean it. And the way they've been drafting certainly isn't helping them whatsoever. Tyquan Thornton's on the IR right now. I don't hate Cole Strange, but he certainly was a reach no matter what way you want to spin it. But Micah Kwanu, an offensive guard who's stepping into a starting role full-time this year, is someone I really like. He was in and out last season and really played a big role for a team that struggled with a shuffling offensive line, so I do like him a lot. But otherwise, I mean, there's just not much to like. It's New England Patriots. Bill Belichick's going to have to pull some masterclass performance from a coaching perspective out of his ass. I don't think he's got the pieces to do it this year, which is what brought me to 6-11. I wouldn't be shocked if they still somehow ended up with 9 or 10 wins, but I also wouldn't be shocked if they somehow ended up below the Jets this year. So I guess we'll see and find out. Moving on to 2nd place in the AFC East, you're probably seeing how this is going to pan out at this point. I do have the Miami Dolphins, who I'm predicting to go 9-8. Here's a franchise that did a lot of spending this offseason. They brought Teron Armstead down to anchor down the right side of the offensive line. They brought in Tyreek Hill via trade. Signed Chase Edmonds, Raheem Mostert in the backfield. I almost forgot to mention they also signed Cedric Wilson, who I think is a very solid 3rd option in this league. The addition of Melvin Ingram was probably the biggest acquisition the Dolphins made on the defensive side of the ball, but I mean, this team, it's very well-rounded. I mean, as much as I hate the Miami Dolphins being a Bills fan, I gotta give them credit. They had a tremendous offseason. I think they really built around Tua properly. I really like the Mike McDaniel hire. If they were going to move on from Brian Flores for one reason or another, I think Mike McDaniel was a pretty suitable replacement. I gotta give credit where credit is due. This team is going to be tough. I just think, once again, it's a situation of quarterback play that's going to be what determines how their season ends up. If Tua is pretty much the Tua that I expect him to be, which is pretty much just managing the game, not going above and beyond, but not entirely sucking, I think 9-8 is where they land, simply because it's such a hard conference. The conference being difficult is really going to be a big obstacle for a lot of teams. I think if you don't get above average quarterback quarterback play, you're going to end up like the Miami Dolphins at 9-8, despite how good their supporting cast is. Honestly, if I'm a Dolphins fan, I'm looking at the season as kind of like a Tua indicator. Are you going to be able to move forward with him, or are you going to have to move on from Tua? If he can't support himself with this cast around him, then you're not going to be able to keep him as a quarterback. If he does succeed in this type of environment, then yeah, you can keep moving with him. That's what I'm watching the most when it comes to the Dolphins. Maybe they sneak in as a 7 seed, but they don't pose too much of a threat to the Buffalo Bills or any other team that's at the top of the AFC. That being said, I have them going 9-8, second in the AFC East. With the cherry on top of the AFC East, I'm predicting the Buffalo Bills to be crowned king at 13-4. If you're predicting any other team to take this division, you're just trying to be extremely different for absolutely no reason. I'm not even just saying that as a Bills fan because I'm confident. It's just the facts of it. We're not only the favorite to win the AFC East, we're the favorite to win the AFC, we're the favorite to win the damn Super Bowl. It's crazy to say out loud considering our recent history, but nevertheless, yeah, we're at a point in time where the Buffalo Bills are being touted as the best team in football. We kick off the season tomorrow against the Los Angeles Rams on Thursday Night Football, and I cannot wait. Honestly, I think that's a game we lose. I got to give us some losses here and there. We're not going to go undefeated, as awesome as that would be. Reigning Super Bowl champions were traveling out west to play on their own home turf, and there was some crazy stat I saw where the team that won the Super Bowl the previous year is 19-2 since the year 2000 in their first game back. So the bullshit sprinkled in that's kind of making me think we lose this game. But nevertheless, I have a full breakdown video that I'll link down in the description of what I think of the Bills this season. I have one thing that I tinkered around. I made the Bills take a loss to the Dolphins as well. I think just sweeping the division is way too difficult. In that video, you'll see a record prediction of 14-3, and like I said, I gave us a loss to the Dolphins this time around, so no, I got us 13-4. Yeah, that will wrap up my record predictions for the final division that I had left to cover, the AFC East. This felt like a long-ass series, but it's finally come to an end. As always, if you enjoyed, please like, subscribe, do all the fun stuff. If you want to hit the bell to be notified when I upload, I appreciate that. And over to Twitter, follow me over there. I'd appreciate that as well. I have a TikTok down in my description that I think you should check out, and I hope to see you in the next one. Peace.